attracting really smart, talented people. Yesterday, we put together 4 or 5 things that are gonna help with the immediate, issues that have to do, surround Bud Anchor. Identified significant amount of dollars to help, docs that are in transition to go into other practices. Also encouraging, practices to bring on new Medicaid patients. A strategy to make sure that there's transparency, right, in terms of reporting on any of these providers, so that we get advance notice on the financial health, to give us time. I think that it was mentioned yesterday that if we had more time on Anchor, we probably could have done things like we did with Thunderbird. So, look, we have professionals that are doing the work, and I have confidence in them, and they've come forth with a good strategy. And also, we're gonna do the review. We're asking the General Assembly to pass that review, and we'll take it from there. But we also gotta balance what we do in terms of reimbursement rates. You just can't pick a number out of the air. And we need to make sure that we do the work to know that we're aligning what the reimbursement rate is and be fair with the taxpayers and the HMOs. And that's what we're gonna do.
Do you see red flags with any other companies or practices at this point?
Right now, no, we have not been notified and there. We know that, a couple hospitals are in transition right now, that have been vulnerable, right, with Fatima, and so we're aware of what's going on. Again, we have professionals, and then when an AG takes a shot at me for, he's wearing his politics on his sleeve. I mean, he's been trying to take me out of office for quite some time. He actually is attacking some really good people, and I think that you're aware that I feel as though that when staff members are unfairly attacked, that I stand up for.
What do you think of Val Lawson being elected the Senate President? Have you worked with her? Do you have a relationship?
I do, and so, first of all, Dominic, his loss is a big loss. We've mentioned how he's a friend of mine and many others, and he was a person that really provided some really strong leadership, very, very much centered in terms of doing the right thing for the people in the state of Rhode Island. So he's going to be missed. In his absence, over the last few months, I have weekly lunches. In fact, I'm headed to one right now with the new president as well as the speaker. I have those meetings on a regular basis in session. The new President Lawson has been at those meetings, so we've already built up a working relationship. We're going to continue doing that and work our way through the session. And I stopped by the Senate office last night as I was leaving the State House around 7:30 on work to congratulate both President Lawson as well as the new leader. So we'll have a good working relationship with them, and we'll try to make sure that that work really helps the people in the state of Rhode Island.
She has said she's not going to step down from her post as the president of the NEA, which is the largest teachers union in the state. I think good government people have some concerns about that. Are you concerned about that? Dominic Ruggiero, who you mentioned, when he became president, stepped down from a labor position. Are you concerned, or do you think she's all right doing that?
Well, that's a personal decision that she can make. But all I know is that my relationship with the new president when she was a leader was very professional, and I expect that to continue.
Do you think this helps the assault weapons ban potentially get through?
Well, I think that we have support, both on the Senate and the House. We'll see where that happens, but I'll be signing that, if it gets passed as in substance as I presented it to the General Assembly.
Anything from Hasbro?
No, nothing from Hasbro, and I'm glad you asked that question because I think that, you're aware that we sent them a letter. And it was really based on the fact, look, we have a certain amount of resources that we've obligated to Hasbro, and I think it's a really strong presentation that I think is going to be difficult for them to walk away from. And same way the Superman building, right? So we have now allocated and appropriated and committed a substantial amount of dollars to those 2 projects. And that we can't be indefinitely having those dollars tied up when right now our best path in terms of addressing any economic downturn is keeping people to work. So we need to make sure the millions of dollars that we have appropriated with both projects in total actually get to work and put people to work in good paying jobs, building things.
Sorry, you mentioned Superman. Where is that right now? Are you concerned about where that is?
Well, I'm concerned, of course I am. I think that we've been at this for a while. We certainly have had recent conversations with them and just reinforce the strategy. Look, it's time to move. Otherwise, if we need to use those dollars somewhere else, we will. Because my obligation is to put people to work, building things that are gonna pay dividends for decades to come. We want Superman to happen, and that's why we've committed the dollars and the time to make that happen. We want Hasbro to stay, and that's why we spent the time and put the resources forward, that I believe in both cases, it could happen, but now that decision is gonna be made by the developers at Superman and the ownership and the leadership at Hasbro.
Time for one more question.
Great. Governor, I have a niche question to ask you. I talked to the director last week after speaking with several contractors, and they're the ones out in the town, knowing their community, seeing other contractors who are doing shoddy work or might be unlicensed. Their issue is if they report a contractor to the state, it's not anonymous, so the contractor who might not be licensed now knows who reported them, and it's a big deterrent for them. Do you think that is something that should change when the contractors who are doing good work know these communities and can see the effects of bad contractors?
Yeah, so it's no secret that I'm a very big supporter of the small businesses and doing everything we can to level the playing field between Connecticut and Massachusetts, and making sure that our small businesses, are in a position where they can be successful. So we'll take a lot. That'll be a question I'll ask Director Dwyer about in terms of the way that things are reported. But I can tell you that what we're working on here today, we all have friends. I have a good friend that really got scammed, and that's the awareness that we want people to be aware of, right? I mean, he's out, $40,000, advancing dollars for projects without the work being done. So I think that the advice that we had here today is very important. I'll bring that question back to the Secretary, but we want to make sure that we're flushing out the bad actors and making sure that the reports of a bad actor is actually accurate, right? So we need to follow up because we don't want to be penalizing just because a bad report comes in doesn't necessarily mean that that particular contract is breaking any rules. So we got to make sure that we're fair in all cases.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
No, one more.
Okay, one more.
What is the problem?
There's always one more.
Una más.
Yes.
What's wrong between you and Peter Nadeau? What is really the problem?
No, that's a question for him. I don't have a problem. We work with his office. We make sure that we're working on issues with the different lawsuits, with the bridge or whatever it might be, every single day. So my job is to make sure that our office is working with the Attorney General's office on behalf of the people of the state of Rhode Island. That's exactly what I do.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry.